Yo, what is going on, everybody? We have a replay analysis of Vatira and Skyrix against the Yan and Drafino. So, I'm looking forward to this one. What I really enjoy about Vatira's gameplay is how good his decision making is and how he actually plays in a very smart manner. He really is kind of like Beast Mode in a way, but I think he's better than Beast Mode in all honesty, as far as his ability to circle out and not dive into corners. And the way he's able to often hover and quickly tip his momentum towards his net is really, really brilliant. And I feel that Vatira has some of the best, from my watching, understanding of how to read his opponents. He doesn't rush everything. He makes a lot of smart decisions, like I say, specifically in the corner. And there's another smart decision for you straight away. Just bumping the second man off the inside position to allow the open net. So Vatira, one of the most commonly requested players, and really is, this guy, surely, you'd hate to see him not, but surely he's going to be a world champion someday. You've got to say that he would be. Oh, it could be sad. It could be like the Kevin Levrone of bodybuilding, the guy who should have won, or the Jay Cutler, although he did in the end, but just couldn't win it because there was someone so good on the other team, Zen. Looking at Zen and the other teams, actually, there's so many good players. There's just so many great players. But anyway, we're going to look at this replay. This replay has a lot of goals, which I thought would be really cool. Action-packed, and there's going to be some real key elements, as I often say, that you can add into your game. And people who are interested in, like, pacifist stuff, and I'm not saying that, like I say, I'm not saying that he even knows anything about the sort of stuff, but remember, the pacifist system is built on ideas of the fundamentals, and I feel like Vatira is really someone you could be looking at. It really just a fantastic player. Great finish as well. We're on this kickoff. And again, just trying to hit the ball in the middle, trying to push it to the side, slightly off center, and then you flip towards the side you're trying to get to. But what you're going to notice, like, for example, I mean, look at this. Unbelievable mechanics. But, and I'm aware this is unbelievable mechanics, that came from the jab. It came from the fundamentals. I see so often Champ 2, Champ 3, Grand Champ 2. They can do all these aerial things, but they can't send them. Look at this, taking his time. Look at that. Unbelievable. Using rhythm breaks, faking, letting them pull themselves out of position. My God, they say it doesn't work at the higher ranks. You have to play fast all the time. Oh my God, he just fakes in the corner, this guy. Is he going to do it again? Of course he is. This guy's got the brain. This is the stuff we've been telling you guys. And there's another great jab first touch into a block 50. This is, in my opinion, the greatest player in the world right now. His MMR may not say so. I mean, obviously, he's like top 5. Well, we can check after. But I mean, it's just as far as decision making, this guy's got it all. Great boost grabs. Okay. You know, he's good. He's good. That was just a mistouch. Right, maybe not every decision's going to be perfect. You got to give the guy a break. But this is pretty damn good. I mean, look at that. Slow play on the delayed jump. Really nice stuff. So, everybody, thank you so much for the support lately. We've recently released Flight, the 4-week aerial program. I actually did it for 6 weeks. I did it for 6 weeks, but I've released it as 4 weeks because it's just otherwise going to be the same thing. It's just you do it for 6 weeks. You can do it as long as you want, but I'd recommend a wave of 6 weeks. We do 6 weeks in the gym, okay? And the reason we do is because that's where it shows that you get adaptation. From a neurological sense, as a skill, I don't know, it might be sooner. You might be able to get it in 2 to 4 weeks, but still. And that's why I like to do 6 weeks. It's just old habits die hard with that. But yeah, hopefully people have been using some of the things there. If you're new to aerial stuff, that can help you. It's not too complicated. And although I do need to make more videos to assist in it, I do believe. And of course, we're still continuing with the Wands series. The Fundamental 1 series. Trying my best. Actually, I say fundamentals. I'm just trying my best. I'm going to be getting the coaches to help me real soon because there are some absolute beasts. And unfortunately, 2 games in that series so far we have played against 2 bots. Yes, AI is in the game. Not great. And although I'm complaining, a lot of higher level players are complaining because there are invisible cars in the game. So hopefully this sort of stuff gets fixed. Nice idea on the swiping. Already it's 6-3. So I've just sort of been zoning out there, guys, just talking. But we're really going to go into this. And like I say, this is what I'm confident you can add in. Or you can at least understand the progression. How you look at the pacifist stuff. Look at the pacifist at the end of the game. 7-3. It is. Oh, man, I just want to look at this. Oh, how many times? How many times? You can't wait in there. High-level players don't wait in there. What the hell? And I'm literally looking at everyone telling me this. And I'm thinking, am I losing my mind? It's the most obvious place to go. Look, most players would follow into the corner here. But it doesn't make... Why would you do that? And I've said this for ages. Yeah, but you need it in SSA. You need it. This is one of the best players in the world. Waits in net. Waits in net. Comes out of net. Shoots it on net. Against Dejan, one of the best players in the world. That's a goal. It's just the basic pacifist stuff that we've been going on about for years and years and years, and people still argue they won't work at the highest rank. But anyway, let's get into this replay, because I tell you what, this is unreal. This is my favorite player to watch, my favorite replay I've ever seen here. This is unbelievable. So, matching the height of the ball here on the backboard, comes down, instantly goes back up to match the height of the ball, and that's what you want to do. One of the big mistakes people make is when they go up here, they might flip or panic, whereas actually Vatira is saving it because he doesn't want to throw himself forward if they're going to fake. And instead he just comes down with a pinch. And again, matching the height of the ball. This is such an important skill, and you know, I say it all the time, but as soon as that ball goes up, you don't have any vision. You have to just hover. You have to hover and try and match the height of the ball. So always keep that in mind. And again, this, oh God. So, Skyrix has no boost. Vatira's going to push up, but look at this brilliance here. Turns right before he goes up for the hover. That way, his momentum is ever so slightly going towards his net. Which means when he recovers, he's right in front of his net. I mean, God. This is the best. This is the best I've seen. Doesn't bother diving into corners. Like, guys, there's no point diving into corners just because, like, how many times have I pointed it out? Every pro replay we've done and they've dove into a corner has led to a counter goal. Every single time, it seems. So don't do it. And Vatira here just backs off, doesn't bother getting involved, knows the corner is just a terrible place to be. Grab the boost. Matches the height of the ball in the corner. This is quite a common thing, this is. It happens a lot. You go up and then the ball bounces awkwardly. You just misread it and then it's away. But the main thing is he's going to where the perceived threat is. So he's literally, I mean, it's unbelievable, really. He's exactly at the halfway height between the ground and the crossbar here, which allows him to go up and down. So see how easy he can just scale upwards. Stays close to the ball, tries to keep behind it, and he's going to move forward. So this is something Vatira does quite well, is once he feels his teammate can get the clear, he starts pushing up. But it looks like Skyrix took a bit of a bad route, in my opinion, here, because what you don't want to do as second man is drive out of the front post there. It's not really required. So as second man here, you're more concerned with, can I get to the ball from like an inside position? So possibly, I don't know, maybe it was the slip on the post that pushed him out the net. But either way, we've got the opening, and there it is. Oftentimes you will see, is why I go on about it so much, the majority of goals will come from counters. It's very hard to actually keep prolonged pressure, because the longer you can keep pressure, usually by default, the smaller the net becomes, funnily enough, because the smaller the map space becomes as you keep trying to push it in. And often it's very easy to deflect it to the side. So a little bit of a dive here. So what happens here, there's a 50 there. Vatira feels he's got the first touch red, little bit aggressive. And you can just see as soon as you dive as last man, this is the risk. I think this is really one of the only misplays you can put in this game from Vatira. Should have just faked out here as second man and shadowed. People say, yeah, but he was going to, if he'd hit this and he was going to do that. I'm aware of that. But also, they did get scored on because of it. So, you know, it's percentages. I don't think that's the highest percent play with the position being that Skyrix is low boost. I just don't think that's the best play to make. I love the 50s as well. Really good utilization of reading nameplates. So sees where Jafino's coming from and where they're going, and just tries to block off that area with the flip to the side. Good boost grab. And again, now we're talking. So second man here, shadowing away, getting into space. This is the difference. So people say, oh yeah, but you need mechanics. And I keep trying to explain to people, the whole idea is you get good at game sense, you understand positioning, then you add the mechanics on top. Too often now, people see stuff like the ground stuff we do and say, oh yeah, but it's a bit boring. Yeah, but the whole point is you get good at that, and this gives you aerial plays. You have no ability to create aerial plays unless you have good fundamentals. Here, there's a shadow, there's a power slide, and there's a jab into the ball. This allows, if you want, to go up for an air dribble flip reset. It isn't the system that's broken, it's the understanding of the system. So why would you go up here? Drafino's up, so decides to go low instead. And now Drafino's down, you could actually go straight back up because they're landing. And I think Vatira was a little bit unsure if Skyrix wanted to pass it. It was a little bit awkward, I gotta be honest, this one. So trying to play it into space and just regather. Sometimes the play will break down, and sometimes it's better not to overcommit. But it was a great pre-jump here from Drafino to read again the idea that he could go straight up and to block that chance, which forces Vatira low. You can just see how awkward this makes them actually, as far as the orange team, they have to play that ball away. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Gets the boost. Now look at this again. Look at this little turn he does on the ground. Little turn. Boom. There it is. Now when he makes this hover, the majority of his momentum isn't flying forward. It's basically going straight up, or if not, slightly towards the net. Really key here to be able to just go up and down like a brick wall and block, as opposed to trying to move forward, because your shot increases tenfold when you go straight up. You have much more time, but it also allows better recoveries. As you can see now, Jan is in the corner boost off, which is a terrible position to be in. Forces the 2v1, and this is a great finish. So here, Skyrix comes onto the play, goes for the low 50, and he has to because Drafino's close and also hides his hitbox. This is something you see at the high level. So as soon as Drafino comes across here, instantly drop the ball. A lot of players in the lower ranks will still try and force their offense. They'll still try and force their flick. They'll still try and force their air dribble. And it's not very successful, because if they do challenge in that case, you're going to get dunked. So high level players just tend to drop the ball and they go for a drive through 50. And then again, you know, stuff that's so simple is so effective at the higher ranks. I was talking to a great guy about this the other day. He said, but I don't understand how the game is so different between the pros and everyone else. And I said, it's a completely different ball game. It's a completely different ball game. And if you actually look at statistics, usually pro players don't play as fast as Champ 3s even, because they understand the game. And I feel like misinformation has come out about this game because players have played with people who are good. They've gone into a game with pro players and say, oh my god, they're so quick, they're so quick. They are quick because they're in the right positions. And what happened, I think, is it got sort of told to the world that these guys are really quick, and if you want to get better, you've got to play quick, as opposed to saying if you want to get better, you've got to learn the positioning so that you can play what is perceived as being quick, like these guys do. Great little double jump, simple and effective. Well played. So coming down the wing here, this is all to do with the hitboxes, okay? So you could absolutely come down the middle, but in that hitbox, he's read where that ball's going to go, because the ball is basically, he's put it directly in the middle of the opponent's, okay? So you can see it's in the middle of Jan's hitbox, and nothing's really going, there's no angle on the ball, so he can absolutely do this. Now look at this first touch, boom, that's a jab. A fundamental skill, get good at that before learning your musties, because now you can go up, then you get your touch into your seed and flip reset, come down, score the goal. But none of that would be possible if it wasn't for this first touch. And it's funny because how many players, we all know, everyone, if I could give you any skill, everyone would choose, I want a perfect first touch, I want a perfect first touch. Why don't you work on your first touch then? Why are you so opposed to just working on some basic ground things that allows you to have a good first touch? That increases your percentage massively. But people don't think like that. They don't think like that. So great, and a great second touch. I mean, the touches are perfect. But if you can do it on the ground, you can do it in the air. That's my philosophy. With a little bit of training. Because you understand how the ball works. Does this look familiar, guys? Goes up, matches the height of the ball, waits for them to back off, doesn't blast it away, comes down and lets them... Look, they're in a good position. There's 2 defenders. There's only a couple of ways you can score here or put some threat on. You'd either go at the net with an air dribble and try and bump one of them, or you'd power shoot it and try and steal a boost. But the thing is, you know they've just both grabbed boost. There's no point actually playing this ball, especially not with a 3-1 lead. This is one of the biggest skills and one of the things that really sets Vatira apart. I don't see any other pros doing this. They've got the ball in the corner and they're just time wasting. And they're time in 2s. They say you have to play fast in 2s, yeah? He's waiting, he's wasting time because he needs to pull them out of position. Waiting. Boom. Now we got him a little bit out of position. Do you see the second man's now dropped wide, which means there's an opening down the middle, but the first man's pushing forward into no man's land. Vatira is thinking about taking this shot because he sees that if Jan continues at this pace, there will be basically a 1v1 because he'll go straight past him. But Jan does a good fake. You see the fake? Vatira knows it's coming. So he was ready to go if there was no fake, but there is a fake. So boom. Do we wait a little bit longer? And that hesitation forces Drafino out of position as well. I mean, it's just such a good play. If you actually look at this from above, this is such a smart play. And I know people say, well, yeah, these guys are pros, but you just don't see this stuff because people still believe a lot of the nonsense about, you know, playing fast and pressure and all that sort of stuff. But instead, Vatira's looking at how can I get pressure via utilizing the map space I've just been given. It's a gift. You shouldn't be giving this much map space. And because he is, but he needs to pull him out of position. Boom. There's the first bit. And then bam. Now look what he has done. So most players would have took the hit here. Look, they're both ready for this. Both of the players, this is what I'm trying to explain to people when we're doing pacifist stuff, when we're even with the 1 system in the corner. They're already moving to defend this. So I don't do anything. Now what happens, unfortunately, in the game, because people have been told to play fast, and they've been told absolute nonsense by people who just can't understand what they're reading, okay, and what they're looking at, is your teammate will just come and smash this off you to keep momentum, to keep pressure. Yeah, load of nonsense. Instead, just what your teammate should do is just chill for a second, because you are trying to move these players out of position. They are ready to make the save, but by just doing 2 hesitations, you move these players from this to this. They're now both in your half and they're both moving forward. Essentially, you've killed their mobility, which is the strongest thing you can take away from a player in defense. You don't want them to have mobility. Of course, these players are extremely mechanical, okay? But you can just see how difficult this makes it. See, look at this. Drafino is so confused by what's just happened because there's been a slow play that he's reversing and he boosts forward and actually makes it even harder for himself to get backwards. So you can just see how powerful this is. When you freeze a play like that, such a good play from Vatira. And I can't understate that. It's such a good play. How many players would dive at this? How many players would take one of those terrible shots that I talked about in the Nupo thing where you just come across here and you do a flat shot and it's easy to save? Or you dive into the corner because you've been told about pressure. Just fake it. Just fake it. A lot of people say to me, well, what do you expect? What do you want me to do in the corner? Just fake it. I say, yeah, but are you sure? Just fake it. In the corner, just fake the ball. Like, you think about it. You're going to gain map space. Look, now you're going to force a commit. Boom. They're out of the play. Now you've took 1 out. And again here, oh, does that mean we can go now then? Yeah, because we've got... No, just fake it. Just fake it, because it's a terrible position to try and score from. It's low percentage. We've seen it in every single replay analysis. It's the biggest fundamental rule that I have mentioned for the last 6 years. Don't dive into the corner and don't dive in as last man. And I always say, if you can just do those 2 things, you will be 10 times better than you are today. In a week's time if you focus on that. And I know it's extremely hard for people to do, but I often think it's because people just don't trust it all the time. Vatira decides not to dive into the corner here. He fakes it. He forces them to throw it away. This is exactly what we're talking about in the pacifist system. Then you get map space. And now you can do your stuff. And it's this simple. You know, like I say, in the series we do, I would just, you know, do something real basic, maybe a shot. But if you've got mechanics and you've got game sense, it looks like this. You now go up into the air and you're going to go for a block in 50. And now you're pushing them back into awkward spots. And that shot is all right because they're actually a little bit out of position, but also gives a bit of lift. So it's just little things like that that create these awkward touches. And you can see here, from Skyrix's perspective. Jan makes the save. I'm not sure what Drafino's doing here, in all honesty. I think he went for the demo. Not the most fundamental of plays. Very good kick off there. That was our own goal. I think Vatira was trying to... This is one of those things that happens to the best of us. You're trying so hard to control a ball because you realise the value of having possession that sometimes you may accidentally hit that ball away. It happens. No one's perfect. No one's perfect. Again, great job not just diving into it. And this is a good move there. Yeah, really well played. Getting it towards net as fast as possible. We've got a bit of trading going on right now on the kickoffs. A little bit of an aggressive cheat. Going to lead to another kickoff goal here. And in it goes. But hopefully, guys, just in this replay alone, how much more slow is it coming out of the corner? He's not forcing that ball out of defense. He's letting the defenders get out of position, unless it's a counter, of course. Okay? Even in this is a proactive defensive play. He's turning away first. Just in case it goes wrong, he's able to boost in the other direction. Again, doesn't dive into the corner. This is Vatira's biggest skill, that he's just not diving into these corners. That's 4 times now that I really believe most other players, especially normal players, but even pros, would have dove into those corners. And every single time he hasn't bothered committing. He's gone for a sweeping demo, or he's just faked it. It's exactly what you should do. Most of the time, especially with a lead. Good play there. Again, this is the difference. So earlier we saw him waste time in the corner. This time he doesn't want to waste time in the corner because Drafino's overcommitting. Okay? Always go fast on a counter. Bang. No time wasted on a counter because this is how you start to throw him out of positions. Okay? Wow, look at this. Doesn't dive into the corner. Instead does a flash of position. We always flash that position and drives off. This really is, as far as a fundamental performance, as close to perfect as you're going to get. Apart from that one challenge earlier, all of this is fundamental play. Flashing on the wall and then rotating out there. Really nice. See what he does here. Yep, Hovers matches the height of the ball with his momentum going towards his own net, which means he's going to be able to recover onto the boost. That's 2 times now he's done a hover. Well, 3 hovers overall towards his net, but twice that he's actually managed to land on that boost. That tells you what you're doing. You've got to do these defensive hovers. It should all be about pulling. You pull them into your net here. Okay? This is how you should play twos. You pull them into your net by creating blocks. This is what Vatira's done here. This is why people say he's one of the best defensive players in the game. You know, the blue wall and all that. And they do this as well in their freeze. More so last season. But you pull them in, you make your save. And what that does is it causes a separation of the defenders. Okay? They're separated. And this is an overcommit now. They're in your area with 0 boost. So now it's a 2v1 last against the last man. So you take this 50, and if your teammate follows it, it should basically now pull everyone on the opposing team into a bad position. Because what's going to happen is, by going straight to net, which is always the goal, you're going to take these players often off their boost path, which means that they collapse in defense. That's called a collapse defense. And that means they've got no boost. Here, they both do get boost. But it's still just so powerful because it's forcing them to move into positions they don't want to do. I mean, you can see it here. Jan should have been hovering a long time. Once he gets this boost, he should have been hovering. Towards his net. Too late. And you can't do that now. The game, you can't do that in the game. You just can't do it. And again, I am nowhere near as good as any of these players. But I've watched this game so much and studied it so much that you can always just tell it's a foregone conclusion a lot of the time with this. And this is my favourite part. They told you never to wait in there. The difference between what Vatira's doing and what I like to do, and what I recommend from what I've seen, is that he's doing what was a very common move back in the day. Actually, Squishy used to do this a lot as well, which is actually you hide here on the same side. The problem is it really takes your positioning, and if the ball goes to the back post, it can be really hard to make the save if they're there. Whereas I like to be more here, so more opposite the play here, so that if this does come across, and let's say it's here, I can shoot, and I also have prolonged vision on this guy while I was looking at the ball. I can see them for longer. And it's the same with this move. Vatira likes to go here. I just prefer to go here just to get better vision. Then as it comes off, you can move into it. But it's all to do with the vision beats everything. So you just lose that second man vision. That's the only thing I'm not a big fan of this. But he's read it. Basically, Jan puts himself. This is why you got to be real careful of going onto the same side as the play, because you put yourself into a viewable position. So Jan wasn't viewable, and it's 10. Like you can see, this is 10 times more scary because we don't know where Drafinho is. Okay. But then in this situation, when Drafinho's on the ball, Jan zips across into position, and now the fear's gone because we know exactly where their second man is. So we don't have to worry about a pass to back post, which is why you can go to this position. And just typical, this is the pacifist stuff that we talk about all the time. Waiting in there. When you see them try and go for these plays, you just take the shot. And you get a ton of power on these shots because it's working in the principles of the physics of Rocket League. And it will just bolt. I mean, it really does. People don't understand how fast these shots work because they are in your favor. And you look at this from Jan's perspective, it's like, what? He's just like, wow. It's so quick, guys. This is the best replay I've ever seen. If you want this replay, I will actually share it in the Discord because I think it's just unbelievable. Just study Vatira in this game and make that how you play, because that was pretty much flawless Rocket League. It's the best Rocket League I've ever seen, actually. Really, really cool to watch that. Any questions, put it in the comments below, guys. Really appreciate the support. Thank you for requesting Vatira. We will be doing a Rumas training pack video like we did with Zen, and same with Vatira as well. Flight's just been released, and the video for Flight will be released hopefully next week or the week after. And of course, we've still got the 1 series to GC, hopefully, with the coaching. And we do have the free series to SSL, hopefully. A couple of comments about that series. So, yeah, we're still deciding what exactly to do with it. But, guys, really do appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Look after yourselves, and peace out. Peace, peace.